It's time, nigga. Nigga.
Young, Vasco Black, young ass kid, Astro rap, fuck all the faculty to back.
My nigga, it's so time. You know we ready. You know we rocking out here. For Your Eyes only dropped like 2 days ago. My nigga, the shit was hard as fuck. You gotta listen to it a couple times for you to actually appreciate what's going on. This definitely was not a fucking lyrical barfest album like Forest Hill Drive was, but it was still fire nonetheless. We gonna get into this shit. All right. So J. Cole, it's been about 2 years since he dropped an album. We've been waiting for it. We all knew it was coming though, but we've been waiting for it. Finally lets us know on the 2-year anniversary of Forest Hill Drive, he is dropping another album, For Your Eyes Only. We were all ready. We were all ready for the shit to drop. We started listening to it when it came out. Initial opinions I saw on social media, people were disappointed. They were saying this is not as good as Forest Hill Drive, blah, 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 blah. Me listening to it at 1 in the morning, I was tired. I gave it this playthrough at 1 in the morning. I was like, okay. I mean, this could have been better. I didn't like it at first, to be completely honest with you, and I'm a J. Cole fan. I'm a stan, and I'm saying this. But I went back through and listened to it when I was at full cognitive mind power, and it was actually kind of nice. The intro starts out, you get a little glimpse into how he's feeling on this. He's depressed, but it's cool. It's all right. Then you get into track 2. Track 2 is fire, dog. Everything. The album was just like a constant rise. You got tracks like Veil Mentality that were just not bar heavy stuff like that, and then you got Folding Clothes, and then the other end of the spectrum you got Neighbors and Change, the outro For Your Eyes Only. You got the tracks where he did rap his ass off. It's a nice balance. I like it. It was great. The musical talent at its finest. Now, we'll get into the tracks that were just plain fire. Track number 1, as far as standout tracks that I like the most, I gotta give it to Change. Change was crazy good. Basically just talking about how life in the Ville was just not as good as it could have been, but he felt like better days were coming. He says that. What really made this track just crazy for me was at the end of it, he goes into a little scheme where he talks about niggas are in the hood, niggas got guns, niggas shooting. Then he goes into his friend James that got shot, and he's that was my nigga James that got slain. He was 22. And this is not even the part that pushed it up here. Was not even him rapping. It's just the atmosphere he set with what happened after the track. He has people sobbing in the background. It's him, but he has people sobbing in the background. He has people saying, "I'm gonna kill these niggas, man. I swear to God, man." Blah, like stuff like that. And then he has the pastor saying, "We here today to mourn the life of young James." And that was like, when I'm listening to it, it just like, shit is crazy. Shit getting me kind of sad. Like it was crazy he could do that with the song. Definitely probably one of my favorite tracks on the album. It took number 1 for me. Track 2, standout tracks, Neighbors. This shit hit hard as fuck, dog. When I was going through it at first, it seemed really light. Like I was like, okay, I don't think we're gonna hear any Fire Squad stuff like that on this album. And then Neighbors came on. I guess the neighbors we selling dope. So that shit came on. And it wasn't like a really heavy, hard, gritty Fire Squad type song, but the kick in the background, the kick in the beat, from him rapping, he had a nice little flow in that song. It was crazy. If you're gonna get into this album, I will listen to that first over anything. Just go straight to that. The intro, For Whom the Bell Tolls, that ring, that might not get you into the album if you are just testing the waters. It might actually put you off. Not saying it's a bad track. It's just not for the faint at heart. I don't know if that's. Don't get offended by this at all if you didn't like. Anyways, great intro track if you want to get into the album. Listen to that first.
And welcome to the jam. Come on and slam.
track 3. Well, alright. So track 3 is really 2 tracks, but I put them together. And that's She's Mine Part 1 and that's She's Mine Part 2. She's Mine Part 1 and Part 2, beautiful. And She's Mine Part 1, we get Cole talking about his wife, his girlfriend, and how much, you know, he loves her, and how much like he was depressed before he met her, and how he thought things were going downhill and he met her, and like she kind of brightened his day up a little bit. And I think that was crazy. He could put that into a song. Like, this is not, once again, I repeat, niggas, this is not easy. Like, you can't just go write some shit like this. This takes a lot of thought. It's not easy at all. And then you get to She's Mine Part 2. She's Mine Part 2 is about his kid. How much he loves her, how much, like, joy she brings to him. And from what you've been hearing throughout the whole album, it's just how depressed he is or how sad he is about everything. And then you hear him talking about hope. It's a stark contrast, and it shows what, you know, a daughter or a son could bring to you, or just a kid in general can bring to you in your life when it's yours, you know? And I think that was crazy. And once again, this shit is not easy. This shit is not easy to do. It takes real talent to write this shit. So shout out to Cole for that, because that shit was beautiful. I replay both of those on a daily. They've been added to my playlist out of all the songs on the album. But again, once again, just because I put these on the standout tracks does not mean these were the only good tracks on the album. I think there was maybe just one bad song on the entire album, and you're gonna get that in the you know, struggle bar section, because I couldn't even pick 2. That's how good this album was. Now, let's get to the struggle bars. Alright, in the struggle bars, we got one fucking song that just bugged the shit out of me, and I cannot listen to it no matter what. A lot of people are gonna hate me for this, and I expect you to. And I want you to come in the comments and argue with me, because you're gonna get shut down. Alright. Out of every song on here, the one that I cannot listen to, and that I know you're gonna bash me because, you know, I praised fucking Awaken My Love, and that was all tracks like this. But, you know, I'm gonna bash J. Cole for this. I didn't like Folding Clothes. I didn't like the shit at all. I'm not saying it's a bad song. I'm saying I didn't like it, and it's getting put on this list for that reason. I get it, where he's coming from in the song, and I understand the theme of it and everything. I just couldn't bump it. It's not what I was, and I'm not saying every artist should stay the same. No, none of them should change, but this is not what I was feeling from Cole. I didn't want to be, it's hard to explain this without like sound like a complete dickhead, even though I already do. I understand that. You can come in the comments and argue that shit out if you want. I just couldn't get into it. It wasn't what I was looking for when I downloaded a Cole album. And I know y'all are gonna get mad because, you know, I said I'm bashing Cole for the same shit I praised Gambino for. Like, when Gambino released that shit, I wasn't expecting that from him, but it was still fucking crazy. But I got to, dog. This was what I was looking for. I didn't like it that much. It's the only song on the struggle bars. I had to put it on here just for my blatant dislike. Sorry. Now, let's move to the review of this shit, because y'all are gonna hate me today. Okay, so, you know, it's out now. We listened to it. Was it better than Forest Hill Drive or Born Sinner? I don't know. I personally don't think so. That's just me though. I prefer Forest Hill Drive over all of them. Was I expecting him to top it? I don't know. I'm a J. Cole stan, so I kind of expected his next album would be like a stepping stone for the next one. However, I think it does surpass Forest Hill Drive in some ways. Like, I think this album has a lot more meaning behind it than Forest Hill Drive did, because FHD wasn't, I'm not gonna say it wasn't that deep of an album, but it wasn't as deep as this one is. This one has a lot more meaning to it than that one did, and even Born Sinner. So I think it does surpass these two albums in some ways, like the how deep, the meaning of it, the creativeness. I think he took a lot of steps outside the box on this album. He took a lot of risks, you know, like Folding Clothes was a risk, Deja Vu was a risk. So in the end, I do give it the BH stamp of approval. It's earned that in every way. But as far as the grade goes, this is where I wanted to add this to the Hall of S ranks. I wanted to do it. I'm a J. Cole stan. You know I wanted to throw that shit up there. But I couldn't. I can't. It's just not in me. I can't do it. I don't think it was that great. I do think it was great. I just don't think it was, you know, perfect. I don't think it was up there with how good it could have been. So the only grade I can throw this and be able to sleep at night and go throughout my life without hating myself is a smooth A-. The A- is here. It's nice. I just did that. If you think it deserved an S rank, you can come in the comments and you can talk that shit. If you think it deserved lower than that, you can come in the comments and you can get bashed on. No, I'm playing. Your opinion is perfectly relevant, just like my opinion is. But see y'all next time.